Browns back at it here in Berea as they get ready to host the Dolphins, their final home game of the 2024 season. But we talked to Joel Bitonio today, and the question came up, will this be your final home game? Of course, Joel, certainly on the back nine of his career, we're at that point where every season Mary Kay ends with speculation as to whether he would retire or not. And one of the key points he made is he sees himself as a Cleveland Brown for his entire career. So whether that ends after this season, next season, 5 seasons from now, Joel Bitonio wants to retire wearing a Cleveland Browns helmet.
Yeah, and that was really nice to hear because I can't imagine Joel Bitonio in another uniform either. It's sort of like Joe Thomas. So it was nice to hear him say that, but it wasn't nice to hear him sort of speculate that maybe there is a slight chance that he would consider hanging it up after this season. I did ask him, in the same way that Myles Garrett will sit down with the powers that be after the season and want some kind of blueprint to know that they're going to get to winning next season, he kind of said the same thing. He would like to see that too. The losing takes its toll, and he's had enough of it over the years. I think he wants to know that they can get back on track quickly.
And Ashley, it's always such a tricky balance for a guy like Joel because it's hard to leave this game behind, but he's also someone who has a very young family, kind of getting to that point where he's got to think about life after football, life 10 years after football, all of that. So it's not surprising that we're having these conversations, but to Mary Kay's point, we don't love having these conversations.
No, I think Joel, number one, he's the longest tenured Brown. Obviously, he's a great guy to talk to. He always gives good insight. He's won the Good Guy Award given by the local PFWA here multiple times for a reason, but he basically brought up all those points today, and I think you hear linemen talk about this as they get closer to retiring. You want to see how you feel once the season ends, and as Joel pointed out today, you also need to start thinking about how are you going to feel 10 or 15 years down the line, because I do think that matters, and obviously we know what a toll that position takes on these guys.
Yeah, you always hear guys say you don't make that decision in January and you don't make it in July. So whatever Joel decides, it's probably going to be a little while before he lets us know. Now, Dorian Thompson-Robinson will start again on Sunday, assuming he's healthy. That calf, he was out there practicing, so it seems like we're heading towards this Mary Kay. And of course, this just continues Dorian getting to at least be QB1. I know someone who loves me using that phrase. He gets to be QB1 here for a little while, learn from his mistakes against Cincinnati, and try and build on what he did well in that game.
Yeah, the thing that I found to be a little disconcerting today was the fact that he heard something pop in the calf, and that's never usually a good thing, but he is not going to blow this opportunity. He visited the medical tent, came back out, and not only threw the ball a lot, but ran the ball a lot. So he did not let that calf injury get him down. He's rested a lot this week. He's gung-ho to go out there and start against the Dolphins. And of course, I think that Bailey Zappi will once again be the number 2 in the event Dorian needs a blow.
And Ashley, I thought it was interesting that Dorian talked a little bit about using his legs. You know, he even kind of joked that last week he bragged about it. And it seems like it's something he wants to continue to do. And when he did have success against the Bengals, it seemed like it was when he was using his legs.
Yeah, and I think, though, too, when he faced some issues against the Bengals, it was from using his legs. And, I mean, we even talked about it after the game, that spinning he kind of has a tendency to do where it seems like he's almost panicked a little bit in that moment. So I think while that can be one of his strengths, it can also lead to some of his downfalls. And I thought he was very, very honest about that today. And yeah, I mean, I think too, to go back to him being hurt, like he mentioned, he's always been the kind of guy who's going to keep playing unless something is broken or a muscle is coming off the bone, as he said. So definitely seems like he's a guy who's going to be at least trying to get out there on Sunday.
Now, David Njoku did not practice again today. Of course, he's dealing with a knee injury. It doesn't seem real optimistic with him. Cedric Tillman back on the practice field. Now, we're recording this before the injury report comes out. We also did not hear from Kevin Stefanski today, so the coordinators we did talk to, they don't like to give us definitive injury information. So we don't exactly know where Cedric Tillman's at, but Mary Kay, this is a guy that now has missed 4 games in the concussion protocol. This is now week 3 of him back at practice. So I guess we're just kind of doing this again for now at least. Hey, is Ced Tillman going to play or not? Are the Browns going to continue to protect him? Whatever's going on, we're still kind of playing the will he, won't he game with Ced.
Yeah, I'm guessing that he is still in the protocol, or we would probably have heard by now that he's out of it. And as far as David is concerned, it just seems to me that coming off of the hamstring injury and now having the knee injury, I could see them just at least shutting him down for this game, giving him some time to heal. It's obviously they're not going anywhere, so why risk further injury for him? So it could be a game in which DTR has to do once again without those two tall ball guys.
Yeah, and of course, David, it's been a frustrating season for him. I know he wants to finish strong, but with Cedric too, Ashley, this is a guy that really had an opportunity, and unfortunately this concussion has sort of short-circuited that, at least for now.
Yeah, he's missed the last 4 games now. He got hurt at the very end of the third quarter in that first game against the Steelers. And, I think it's unfortunate for DTR too, because obviously those two guys go back to high school. They already kind of have this natural chemistry that they've spent years honing before they ever even got to Cleveland. So I think it'll be another tough break for Dorian too in that regard, not just said size and what he can offer there, but just that he can kind of be that safety valve for DTR.
Okay, we'll have full coverage of everything that happened here in Berea and all week long as the Browns get ready to host the Dolphins at cleveland.com/Browns.